what's up with y'all? This is non-spiritual, alright? So, this video right here is gonna be real important, alright? So, what we got here is, y'all see how to deal with a narcissist, alright? This is a video that I'm pretty sure a whole lot of people need, alright? So, I don't really see too many spiritual people or spiritual content creators really focusing in, or not even just focusing in, because I wouldn't recommend nobody focus on no narcissist anyway, but I don't really see nobody talking about how to deal with this type of stuff, alright? So I'm gonna be the first one to tell you how to deal with it, alright? So how to deal with a narcissist. What did it say right here? Alright. The definition of a narcissist, alright? Now we got the Google definition right here, but when we get deeper into the video, I'm gonna tell you my personal experience and my traits of a narcissist that I've seen and I picked up, alright? So here go the Google definition of a narcissist. A person who has an excessive interest in or admiration of themselves, alright? So pretty much what that means is they put themselves higher than everybody else to basically hide the pain that they got inside. All right, and that's one of the key points that I put right here for my personal traits that I've seen in a narcissist that I picked up on. All right, so boom, here we go. These right here, all these bullet points right here, these are the traits I've seen. All right, so the first trait we got is they are always the victim, never accountable, all right? So basically what that means is a narcissistic person will always find a way to be the victim, all right? They never want to take accountability for what they did or the problem that they created in the situation, all right? They always want to be the victim, all right? So if you got a person that always want to be the victim and they never accountable and they always find a way to flip some shit around on you, you need to just go ahead, just be done with them, all right? Because you don't want to be dealing with that shit. That shit draining, all right? So bullet point number two, we got does anything to get their way no matter what. All right, so what do that? Oh my goodness. A narcissist will do anything to get their way no matter what, all right? So basically what that means is they don't care who they have to hurt. They don't care what they have to say. They don't care who they have to leave. They don't care about nothing. As long as they get their way, they cool with whatever, all right? So if you got a person that always is looking for a way to get their way with something and they never want to just sit back and just let shit be, you need to go ahead and get them out of there, because it's important to be in the flow state, all right? You don't never want to force some shit to go your way all the time, and it's not meant to go that way, because then the shit gonna end up backfiring in your face, and then you gonna be sitting there looking sick, all right? So bullet point number 3, doesn't take criticism, all right? So what does that mean when somebody doesn't take criticism, all right? They can't take criticism because so like I told you in the Google definition, they put themselves on this pedestal so they can hide their insecurities, all right? So they can't take criticism because they can't take their insecurities, all right? So basically if you're gonna try to criticize or critique or just in general just try to give some advice to a narcissistic person, they're gonna try to make some type of excuse like, oh well, I mean, it's hard, or I can't do it, or I just couldn't. They gonna always have some shit to say about you for trying to critique them or trying to make them better because they don't want to change. All right. So the next bullet point we got is doesn't care about anyone else's feelings. All right. A narcissistic person will not care about anybody else's feelings because all they care about is, like I said in the beginning, getting their way by any means possible, all right? So if you around a person that you notice that they don't care about your feelings, or they just don't care about anybody else's feelings, everything always leads back to them, then you need to get their ass out of here, all right? So next bullet point, doesn't listen as if everyone else is the problem and or they are delusional. All right. Oh my man, a narcissistic person will not listen to anybody else. People can be telling them the same thing over and over, and they could be hearing it from all different types of people. But they're gonna be looking at everybody else like, man, why is everybody saying that about me? Why is everybody saying this? Why is everybody saying that? It's because the shit is true and you need to make the change about that shit, but you don't want to because you a fucking narcissist, all right? And they delusional about the shit, right? So basically what I mean is they can't see they flaws, or they see them, but they put on this narcissistic jacket to cover up the shirt that got all the stains on it because they want to be seen wearing the jacket. And they don't want to expose the stains, all right? And they don't want to put in the work to clean this shit up either, all right? This shit don't make sense. They delusional, all right? So, next bullet point, gaslighting, all right? Now, if you don't know what gaslighting is basically, say you in a car with a person, right? And you calling them out on their bullshit, right? And then, as soon as you start saying some real shit about them that they know is true, they gonna start trying to overtalk you. They gonna start trying to make excuses, and they gonna be trying to interrupt you. And then they just gonna be like, "Well, fuck it, I just don't want to talk about this shit at all." All right, that's gaslighting. All right. So if you around a person like that and they can't sit down and have a real, genuine, mature conversation with you, then you need to get their ass up out of here. All right. So next point, judge everyone but themselves. All right. A narcissistic person is always gonna have some shit to say about everybody else except them, all right? When in all honesty, the only problem that they got in their life is them, but they don't want to see that. They making the choice not to see that, so they want to judge everybody else when they should be judging themselves because they don't got the heart to go look in the mirror and do that, all right? So next bullet point, they place themselves above everyone else to run away from pain / self-hatred. All right, so that pretty much goes into the Google definition right there. That was what I was talking about. All right, so yeah, they run away. They place themselves on this pedestal as if they're higher than everybody else because they don't want to accept some shit about themselves. They want to put it to the side and try to cover it up to make it seem like they this perfect person, when really deep inside they just need to heal that shit and just acknowledge it. But they don't want to do that though, all right? So, next bullet point, master manipulator. A narcissistic person is going to be a master manipulator, all right? So, what that means is they going to be, they just manipulative, all right? They going to try to manipulate you to get their way. They going to try to manipulate you into feeling bad for them, into anything, all right? So if you notice a person just all the time trying to be manipulative and stuff like that, get them out of there. All right, you don't need to be with them no more. And the last bullet point I got right here is never sees what they did wrong. And this kind of goes into the previous bullet point I said when I said they're a master manipulator, because as soon as you tell a narcissist where they went wrong, it's like that's when the manipulation comes out, and they want to manipulate the situation and make it backfire on you to make it seem like you the problem or you tripping, and they want to make shit seem like you delusional. No, you delusional because you don't. All right, so the next bullet point I got is takes advantage of people and will suck you dry of everything. All right, so what do I mean by that? Basically, what I mean is a narcissistic person is always looking to take advantage of somebody, all right? That's why you can't be too friendly or communicate too much with a narcissist, because they're gonna try to find a way to get something from you, or just try to drain you in some type of way in general, because they can't gain nothing within themselves. They gotta gain it from you, all right? So say if you, oh shit, what the fuck? A bird, all right, so look, say if, dang, that bird just threw me off. What was I about to say? All right, so say if you a nice person, right? You like to do things for people, right? A narcissistic person will try to get you to a point where all you do when you in their presence is do that nice shit for them, and they don't want to do shit for you in return. All right, so they always looking to take advantage of you, and then the second you say no to them, or the second you don't do what they want you to do, then now you gonna be looked at as, oh, you doing too much, or you in the wrong, or they gonna make you seem in the wrong, and it's because it's all about them in their eyes. All right, and I said at the end, in the second part of this bullet point, will suck you drive everything. All right, they will suck you drive everything because all they care about is gaining something from you, because they can't gain nothing from themselves. All right, so you need to watch what you give to a narcissistic person. Watch what you do. Watch how much you do for a narcissistic person, because at the end of the day, they gonna end up wanting more of the shit, and they want more of the shit, and then at the end of the day, you gonna be left with nothing, and then they still gonna be in your face asking for some shit, and they done sucked all the life out of you. You don't want to do shit no more. You depressed. You don't got no more money, and they still gonna be asking you, what can you do for them? And once you say you don't got nothing else, they gonna move on and do it to the next person. All right. Now, what should I do now? All right. What you should do, all right? The first bullet point I got, and this should just be common sense. You should already know this. Just leave/block them, all right? You're not going to get through to a narcissist, all right? Because they want to make the choice not to see the bullshit, all right? So your first option should always be to just leave or block them, and to just be done with it, because you don't deserve that, and you're not gonna change them. All right. So every bullet point I got after just leave or block them is basically for people that basically they don't have no choice but to deal with a narcissistic person. All right. Whether you got kids with them, whether they your parents, whether they a family member, whether you live with them, they one of your siblings, or you got to go to work because you need your job to feed your kids. All right, these bullet points is for people that don't have no choice but to be around a narcissistic person or communicate with one. All right, so the first one I got, speak to them as little as possible. All right, you want to speak to a narcissistic person as little as possible. All right, because that's gonna avoid any type of conflict. That's going to avoid you getting out of character. That's just going to avoid you dealing with that shit in general, or just as little as possible. All right, so just don't, if you can only say 5 words a day to a narcissistic person, or just 3 words a day, then just do that, because eventually if you keep trying to communicate with a narcissistic person, that shit going to show, and then that shit is going to irritate you in some type of way. All right, so the next bullet point I got is, don't let them get you out of character and have control over your emotions. All right, so if a narcissistic person is trying to get you mad and stuff, all right, because in all honesty, a narcissistic person is going to try to get you mad because they want to put themselves, like I said, they want to put themselves on some type of pedestal, like they better than what they are, all right? Or like they better than you. They want to one-up you all the fucking time for no damn reason, all right? So basically, an example is, if you arguing with a narcissistic person, right? And or not even an argument, y'all just having a disagreement, and y'all going back and forth, right? And they just steady saying shit to just tick you off. It's just, they just pushing your buttons, just the whole conversation, the whole disagreement. And then they say some shit to where now they get disrespectful, all right? So as soon as they get disrespectful and you defend yourself, now that opens up the door for them to be like, oh, well, I'm the mature person in this conversation. Look at him, he getting mad at me. He the aggressive one. I ain't do nothing wrong. No, you pushed my fucking buttons and I had to defend myself, and now you making me look like the aggressor, and I didn't start the shit, all right? So you want to have control over your emotions and don't let them get you out of character, all right? So the next bullet point, simplify the situation or their wrongdoing so they can't deny. All right, that's very important, and you need to learn how to do that because dealing with a narcissistic person is just like dealing with a child. All right, you gotta simplify shit to them so that they can understand. They already know. They already understand because they're a grown ass person. They already understand. But the point you wanna do is you wanna get it to a point where they can't deny the shit. All right. So basically, an example is if y'all in the situation, right, and say y'all going back to the arguing moment, the arguing example, right, and y'all arguing. So let's say you they did some shit to piss you off, and then they try to make you look like you was the person wrong in the situation. All right. So basically, what you want to do is you want to just calm down, have control over your emotions, like I just said. Calm down and ask them, okay, didn't you just say this shit that was disrespectful? And wouldn't that shit be disrespectful if you said it, if I said it to you? And then just say yes or no, just a yes or no question. All right. And they answer the question. All right. Boom. After that, okay, you did that shit to me. So why are you trying to play victim to some shit you did to me for defending myself? All right. Now 9 times out of 10, that might work for a narcissist and it might not. But at the end of the day, it's just something for you to try. All right. It might not work. I mean, I don't know, because a damn narcissist ain't gonna admit shit no way. All right. So, but that's another way you can just you can at least attempt to get your point across when you not when you have to get your point across, because you don't gotta prove shit to nobody. But if you feel like you need to get your point across to this person because you just fed up with the shit, then you can try that. All right. So next bullet point: never be too friendly. That shit that's so important, to not be too friendly with a narcissist. All right, because like I said, they always looking to one up you and have that step over you. All right. So when you be too friendly with a narcissist, you letting them know that, okay, the door is open again for them to execute their next plan. All right, because it's always a hidden agenda with a narcissist. All right, they always planning to do some shit and they not telling you about it. All right, so you want to never be too friendly with a narcissist, because you don't open that door to where they feel like they can come in and try to fuck with you or try to play you again, because at the end of the day, that shit just gonna have you getting out of character if you're not in control of your emotions. And now they basically won. Like what you can't do, it ain't nothing you can do now, because they got you. You open that, you left the door open. Close the door. All right, and don't keep the door closed for everybody. Keep the door closed for the narcissist. All right, you gotta be able to use discernment. All right. So next bullet point: understand they are hurt, but it's not your job to fix. All right. When you're dealing with a narcissist, right, you gotta understand that, okay, the high perspective of all this is, this person, it might not be their fault that they turned out to be a narcissist. All right, you gotta be understanding sometimes. All right, they probably went through shit as a child, or it might be how they was raised, or who they was raised by, and stuff like that. So you can't put the full blame onto them because who taught them. All right, and yeah, that's who taught them, who raised them. All right, put the blame on them more so than the narcissist. All right, so you want to just understand that this person is going through something, so it might not be their fault. All right, and what I say after that, but at the same time, just know that it's not your job to fix them. All right, I understand that this person is a damn narcissist, so, but that might not be your fault all the way. So at some point you gotta take the fault, because you making the choice not to change all this damn time, and you know you need to make a change, but you just choosing not to. But this whole start of the shit is, It might not be your fault that you turned out this way, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna sit here and try to keep giving you my energy and giving you shit and trying to change you and trying to better you. That shit gotta come from you. You gotta make that choice and you gotta take the first action. Can't nobody else do it for you but you. And if you a narcissist watching this, just know that you gotta make the change. Alright? So next bullet point of what you should do. Deny any offers. Alright? You need to deny any offers that a narcissist is making you, because like I said again, they always got some type of hidden agenda. Alright? Even if you don't see the shit, even if they don't plan the agenda while they making you the offer, eventually they gonna find a way to come up with some type of plan to try to get at you. All right. So if you in any way can avoid just working with a narcissist or dealing with a narcissist in general, because look, right, say a narcissist come at you with some type of business plan, right, and then they explaining the shit to you all good. Yeah, you gonna get 50-50, we gonna be doing this, we gonna be doing that, everything gonna be good, right? And then say what's gonna happen if they try to control the whole situation and they not telling you everything about the business move and they keeping shit from you. Now what's gonna happen is you gonna end up finding out that it was a whole lot of shit that you missed out on because they didn't tell you everything when they were supposed to tell you everything, because they wanted to one up you and they wanted all the credit and all the shine for the shit that both of y'all did. Alright, so if you can avoid working with a narcissist or just making plans with them or accepting the offer, just don't do it. All right. If you don't need it, if it's not a necessity, then just don't do it. All right. If you can do some shit yourself, or you can do that shit yourself, then just do it yourself. All right. So, next bullet point: don't feed into their sorrow/pity. All right. So what does that mean, right? Basically, what that means is a narcissist is going to try to get you to feel sorry for them. All right. You don't need to feel sorry for them. They just need to change, all right? And it's their fault that they need to change, and they not doing it. So what's the point of you feeling sorry for them in the first place? All right, so the last bullet point I got is pay them little attention, all right? And the reason you want to pay a narcissistic person little attention is because they need your energy and they need your validation to validate them, because they can't find it within themselves, all right? So by you feeding them that energy, they always going to be looking to gain something from you, all right? They're going to want to suck you dry of everything you got and all your energy, and they not going to give a damn about it or you, all right? As long as they got what they want and as long as they fulfilled, then that's all they care about. And they going to go, and once they can't get nothing out of you no more, they going to try to flip some shit around on you and then throw you to the dirt and go on to the next person and do the same thing to them, all right? So you need to pay a narcissistic person as little attention as you possibly can, because at the end of the day, it's only going to drain you, all right? Trying to fill their cup, and they keep dumping the shit out, and then they coming back to you looking for you to fill the cup up again, all right? Don't fill the cup up. Don't fill their cup up. They need to learn how to fill that shit up themselves. Don't fill their cup up, all right? It's not your obligation to fill somebody else's cup. A person is supposed to come to you with a full cup, because a person is supposed to be whole, all right? It don't come from nowhere else, all right? It don't come from anything outside of this right here, all right? That's what all you narcissists need to understand. It don't start with nobody else. It starts with you, because at the end of the day, it might not be your fault that you turned out this way, but it's your fault that you stand stuck in this energy, all right? You need to change that shit. Stop doing it. It's not that hard. Stop doing it. Y'all fucking up these kids' lives. Y'all messing up these people's lives for no reason, all because you don't want to change, all right? You need to find that shit within and stop seeking the shit outside, all right? Because you ain't doing nothing but hurting yourself more and more in the long run. All right. So that is how to deal with a narcissist. All right. So let me just run down the traits of a narcissist again. They are always the victim, never accountable. All right. Does anything to get their way no matter what. Doesn't take criticism. Doesn't care about anyone else's feelings. Doesn't listen as if everyone else is the problem and or they're delusional. All right. Gaslighting. Takes advantage of people and will suck you dry of everything. That's a fact. Judge everyone but themselves. They place themselves above everyone else to run away from pain / self-hatred. Master manipulator and never sees what they did wrong. All right. So running back, what should I do now? All right. Number one, just leave or block them. All right. Just leave or block them. And for the people who can't do that, all right, speak to them as little as possible. Don't let them get you out of character and have control over your emotions. Simplify the situation or their wrongdoing so they can't deny. Never be too friendly. Understand that they are hurt, but it's not your job to fix. Deny any offers. Don't feed into their sorrow / pity and pay them little attention. All right. So that's how to deal with a narcissist. All right. I hope everybody takes this video into consideration and share it with whoever needs it. All right. Whoever needs it, because I know it's some people that need it. All right. So that's it for narcissism. It's Lonnie Spiritual. I'm gone.